start recording. Good morning. Come on in. It's really mild today, mild and rainy in the southeast of England. Come on in. Welcome to the SHAC. Safe, happy and creative. Stay home and craft. Anybody there apart from me? I just wanted a little bit of a scarf around the back of my neck. My friend Cam says you have to protect the back of your neck. That's where the illness comes in. Whoa. So there you go, keep your neck warm. Come on in. Last day in Egypt. Last day in Egypt today. Hey, anybody there? Good morning. Lovely to have your company. Who'd want to go out in this? Hey, good morning. Good morning, Anne. Good morning, Jackie, Helen. Everybody's here, Roz. Good to have you. Sunny Gloucester, is it actually? No, not sunny here. This is not the sort of weather you'd want to go out in. So that's okay then. So come on in. Is the volume all right? Paul, sound all clear. Good. Paul's in the building with you. So if you have any questions, then please don't hesitate to ask. We've still got, even if today, because on Wednesday, we're going to move on to some colouring. Yes, with our poppets, with our poppet postcards. So even if you haven't got them, you can ask Paul. If you order them today, Paul will make sure that they go out to you and you'll have them by Wednesday. Or if you get them out this morning, Paul, we could get them out first class for tomorrow, couldn't we? And then we can all colour in together. So I thought it'd be nice to take one of the lovely little girls. Let's have a look what we got here. Take one of the little girls and then we can do a colouring exercise, but then we can take the same girl, because she's in there in small, and then we could doodle a scene. I really think that would be lovely. So we can take our black micron pens and we can be artists and we can create a backdrop for that little girl. So I think that would be nice. Colouring and doodling all in one. So that'll keep us busy for a week or so, won't it? Okay? Yes, it will. Come on in. And on Friday, don't forget, it's the moment of clarity at 3 o'clock, where we'll be going to Holland for an hour or two. Yes, we will. And if you want to join in and doodle along with me and stamp along with me, I've got some really smashing ideas. Dee Paramore, my lovely friend Dee's been helping me. So we've got some smashing samples, demos to go through. And these are the sets, look. See, remember when we doodled these in the SHAC with the windmill and the tulips and the little carrot people and the houses? So I'm going to use that. And there's a set of buttons which are absolutely glorious. They're patterns really. They're just delightful, look. Okay, so we're going to use those. And then we've got them in groovy as well. And the groovy set is where I'm going to cut rather than fade. It's all a bit tricky. The groovy set, I thought that would be when we have our pyjama party down the road a little way. That'd be brilliant to do in the pyjama part when we get together on a Friday night and we just hang out, okay? Things are looking up though, aren't they? Things are looking up. I think lots of us have got our vaccination. Not me, I'm waiting patiently, but lots of us have got our vaccinations already now, haven't we? Linda and Rob, they're in the queue for this week. How about you? How about you? Are you feeling a bit, are you feeling safer yet? It's coming. It's coming. Just got to be patient. Be optimistic. I lay in bed this morning, did a gratitude list. 7 things to be grateful for. And I said them out loud. No, there are. Because it does. It gets like, come on. It's always that last, now we can see a light at the end of the tunnel. It's like, now it's starting to get really tedious, this lockdown. But, there's so much to be grateful for. You just have to think about it. Just think about it, okay? I've got so much to be grateful for, haven't you? Right, now, so today we're in Egypt. Lovely, really hot. I thought we'd get in the shade a bit. So if you're new to SHAC and you're not sure what you've tripped on into here, this is a community of lovely people, predominantly in England. We're from all over the world now, aren't we, us Shackers? We get together every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 10 o'clock in the morning, and we doodle and we draw. And sometimes we get on the SHAC bus and we go places. And we've been in Egypt for a couple of weeks and we've been drawing Nefertiti and so on. So I want to show you, just to have a recap, what we've been up to. So let me get my other glasses on. We'll have a little recap and then we'll get back into the shade. Right, so first thing we did was can you see this all right? Do you remember we went to Giza, didn't we? We packed the bus, we went to Giza and we sorted out our pyramids. And we're going to do those today as well. So let's just pick those ones up. Then we did Nefertiti. We drew Nefertiti, didn't we? Beautiful. And then there's also a groovy download, a free download for you if you need it. Then there you go. We went to Karnak Temple, didn't we? Near Luxor, and we did some beautiful pillars. They were cool. And then we went up the other end and we did some lovely vases, some beautiful Egyptian vases and water lilies. That was very pretty. That's what we're going to shade today. That and the pyramids. Then, oh yeah, do you remember? Then we started spelling hieroglyphics, didn't we? So there's another download there of hieroglyphics, and I suggested that if you wanted to, you could shrink it. And that way, you see, you can trace out. This one says travel gently. Do you remember? That was fun. And then when we've done all that, because we've done it all on tracing paper, we were able to combine it all, weren't we? And we laid it or overlaid it, and all the little things that we'd learned to do, Nefertiti and the hieroglyphics and the pyramids and the vase and the column, the pillar. We put it all together, laid it up, and then we started colouring, didn't we, last week? And I did her neck dress thing, her necklace, and I didn't like it, did I? Because it looked like a Scottish school uniform. So I wanted to show you, just in case you're wondering what happened to it. Look, I covered it over. I'd left a little honesty window. I like honesty windows. And that's what it looked like underneath. And then I coloured it in with the gold Posca pen. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend the Posca pens. Paul will give you the links, but you can see the opacity is astounding, really. So yeah, and whilst it may look a little bit, yeah, you see when you hold it to the light, you can see it's very, very metallic gold, very beautiful. So there you go, and that's all our own artwork. We've done all this ourselves, which I think is very, very commendable. So I've got one here that I doodle on and check what I want to do. And then I've got the one that I do for best with you. So I thought the first thing we could do is the pyramids. And if we got the sun in the background, I mean, that was one of the things in Egypt that I remember most vividly was the sunsets. They were just superb. You know, people used to gather in certain places to be able to see the sunsets. There were sunset places to go to. So I thought we'd start with the sun on the pyramids, and then we'd get in the zone and we'd do a bit of shading, and then maybe to finish off, we'd go to that lovely vase and do some shading on that as well. Okay, how's that sound? You all right with that? No rushing. I worked all weekend again pretty much, although I did do some pottery yesterday afternoon, but it was bitterly cold in the garage. It wasn't enjoyable per se. I've got this big blasting like gas heater thing. Very, very, it goes hot, cold, hot, cold. It's either freezing or boiling. That'd be all right. I'm doing some pots for our raku party in the summer. You know, my flower pot, I didn't bother throwing though because my hands were too cold. So my tall vase has eluded me again. But I'm going to give it a go this week if I get a chance. It's just my distraction, you know. It's something to kind of percolate. I think all the time, I wonder if I did this and I wonder if I did that. Do you like that with artwork, with crafting? See, I'm like that with that as well. I'm like that with most things, really. But pottery is my distraction, where I go, you know. Good to have your company this morning. Good to have your company. I'm always better on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. Tuesdays, Thursdays and the weekends, I'm a bit rudderless. Funny that, isn't it? It's like, because I know what I'm doing on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays at 10 o'clock. I guess that goes for a lot of us, eh? Right, come on. Stop waffling, Gray. Shall we get started? Let's do the pyramids. Let's do the pyramids. Have you inked them up? If you haven't, it doesn't matter, you know, because like if it isn't inked up, if you haven't got the black lines, it's fine. You can do it with the pencils as well. So we're going to use pergoliners or polychromos. I'm sticking with the polychromos because I want to, it's a lot of grey work in it because it's shading. But if you haven't got polychromos, then hey ho, pencils, HB pencil works as well. All right, it's not, don't feel you can't join in just because if you've got a piece of paper and a pencil, you can do these pyramids as well. So if we have a look, if the light is here, then it's going to throw this, the front bits are going to be lighter and the shading is going to be here, here and here, and it will throw a shadow here, here and here. So if we look at what I did before, there you go. So this is just to, this is just to show it off. You see that bit's going to be dark, isn't it? Then that side will probably be darker there. This bit will be dark, that'll be darker there. This is dark, that'll be darker there. I'm using the fine pencil, so I'm not actually making a mark. Then this is going to be the shadow here. See? Use the flat of the pencil like that. You can throw that out a bit further, actually. Look, see? Couldn't you? Throw it out a bit further. This shadow, like that. Because the sun's going to come round there. Yeah. See? Not bad, eh? Not bad. So let's do the first one at the front, and then we'll work our way backwards. How's that sound? Yeah? Come on then. Come on then. Right. Cool with that? So I would say let's take a light grey pencil just to get our eye in so we know what we're doing. I would say we'll concentrate on the dark bits first, right? So let's take the warm grey too, right? And let's just put an undercoat down on the warm, just a nice undercoat. There you go. So it's going to be that area there that we're colouring in. That bit there. This won't take long. And that bit there. There you go. That's those bits. Can you see that? Right. And while we've got this in our hand, let's take let me get the right glasses on. What have I got here? Take me Dame Edna's. Right, and then what we're going to do is let's just flick like lines. Let's just do lines on the front with that light grey. There you go, just lines. Right, that'll work. So we've got lines on that side and solid on that side. Yeah? Cool. Right, that's that one sorted. Now the next one. Oh, I saw on Facebook a couple of you were saying that your pergoliners are breaking. It happens, it's not terminal, but sometimes it's not you either. Sometimes the pencils, we can't control it. It only needs somebody to drop a box somewhere in transit, like a box of pencil, boof, right? We can't check it. We don't know whether they're bad or not. But Jackie, cooling, I saw yours, broken, broken, and I know you, and I know that you know how to sharpen a pencil, so I'm not going to be that condescending to say, oh, put it on a hot water bottle and put it in the airing cupboard or something. Clearly you've got a broken pencil, and what's happened is inside here it's shattered. So it doesn't matter how good you are at sharpening a pencil, Jackie, it's going to keep breaking. I've had this myself, and you think, well, is it me? There are things that you can do, right? When you've got a broken pencil, what you can do is bin it and ring Janine and she'll send you a replacement, okay? Or, hang on, maybe send Janine the broken pencil so we can see that it's broken, because otherwise we're going to have an avalanche here of I need B1 and B2 and I don't like B3. I'll have B4, that's broken as well, you know what I mean? So if you do have broken pencils, send them into the office. We'll replace them. Of course we will. We'll replace them free of charge. Goes without saying. We've got individual pencils, so it's not like we have to crack open a tin. And we'll probably even test them. We'll sharpen them once. We know exactly whether it works or not. So no problem at all. Of course not. But don't beat yourself up over it. And what you can do is get a decent pencil sharpener. One thing logically, when you're sharpening a pencil, you're going, whether it's a polychromo, £2 a pencil, or a tin of pergoliners, any pencil, when you're sharpening, you're cutting, the blade is cutting across the wood, it's cutting across the grain, yeah? So you have to go slowly. If you rip, then what will happen is you'll rip the wood. That's why I think, like my granddad, he always showed me, he used to use like a knife, and he used to sharpen it like that, right? And I guess the logical response to that is that you're cutting with the grain then, aren't you? You're cutting in the direction of the wood grain. So, and the other thing is, do you remember I was talking about these things, the sanding blocks? See, this is a good thing too, these sanding blocks, because they're sandpaper. Look, mine's pretty much, I need to take this. See, so it's a piece of sandpaper, if you haven't seen this before. And all you do is you take this off. It's sold for paper stumps. I disagree with that. My paper stumps don't. It doesn't work on my paper stumps. Scissors work on my paper stumps. See, so then what you do is, when you get to a certain, then if you want to get a proper, you just use the sandpaper. See, so that's a way of getting a nib, like a tip, a sharp point, without. So it saves on expensive pigment. It protects you. You get a point. See, I've got a point now without actually sharpening it. So there are lots of things to do. But believe you me, at Clarity, we're not sending out dud pencils knowingly. If you've got a broken one, then it obviously got damaged somewhere along the line. Don't give it a second thought. Call the office and we'll sort it out. Going on Facebook, unless I catch it, I can't help you. Okay. So there you go. Paul, you know the score. Is that okay? Yeah, let me just see. Good. So that's that. Right, back to shading. Let's go back to the pyramids again. Giza. Right, I just wanted to clarify that because I know how it goes. I know how it is, But the reason I'm using the polychromos is because they've got loads of greys in them. And they're the better pencil. They're the better pencil. I'm not going to pretend. Pergoliners are good. Pound for pound, pencil for pencil. They're great. Polychromos, you get what you pay for. Pergoliners are also, half the tin is watercolour, isn't it? So they're a great starting out pencil. Don't get me wrong, I'm not killing the product here. They're great quality. The B pencils are fabulous. And so are the A pencils actually. But I've always, if you've known me for any period of time, you will know I swear by Faber-Castell products. All of them. Anything, if I want to be an artist, I'm going to be a Faber-Castell artist, okay? Because I think the pencils isn't second to none, the polychromos. Their Albrecht Dürer are fantastic. Their sketching pencils, the tin that I'm always going on about. Look, Faber-Castell, I love them. Can't beat them, okay? I think. Opinions are like noses. Everyone's got one, and that's mine. Right. And so they cracked on with the shading. Right, so we've done lines there. Now on this side, let's do this. Let's start at the bottom and let's go up because they are built with sort of in sections like breeze blocks, aren't they? There you go, up you go. Up, and then when you get to the top it gets darker. Right, so flicking from this side, right, you're going to go flick with a grey pencil. What grey pencil? I heard you. Which one have I used? Cold grey 4. I'm just going with a lightish, like that. Right, there you go. And then I'll take the same pencil and I'll just come down that edge. There we go. With the flat, I've made a chisel. You know what I mean by chisel, don't you? I've done that so that I've got the flat like that. Right, here we go. Right, there you are. So now we've got that flat area, see? And we've got that texture coming out from there as well, right? Just flicking it out. But the depth is in that corner and down that side. So let's leave it like that for the moment. We don't have to overcook it. Let's go to this one. Don't worry about the fronts. We'll sort them out in a minute. And again, we'll go to the more pointy side of the pencil now. Flick it over. No, not too pointy, Gray. Right, and then up we go again with the bricks. Do you know, we watched a programme last night. I think it was recorded. It was about Stonehenge, that it originated in Wales. Wasn't that fascinating? Fascinating. I think, well, the only thing I kept saying was, well, why would they move it then? Why would you cart a load of stones? They must have been very significant stones. The big sarsen, no, they were the blue ones, weren't they? The smaller ones. But nonetheless, they still weigh a ton, literally. Why would they cart them all the way from south of Wales over to where they are now? Eh? In the Salisbury Plains. Isn't that weird? God, we know nothing, do we? But they did. Huh. Yeah. We always think we're so sophisticated and they were so primitive in those days, but you've got to wonder, I think spiritually they were very elevated in those days, weren't they? They knew a lot more than we do now, it appears to me. They certainly had their different priorities, didn't they? Right, doesn't that look good? So we've got that colour there. So let's go back again, just to recap. We used warm grey 2 and cold grey whatever, 4. There you go. Just to get that colour in. Now this bit, front bit, let's do the, what colour should we use now on that front bit? Let's use a bit of brown and a bit of white, cream. Have you got a cream one or an ivory one? What's this one? Ivory, that's a good one. Right, so let's do a bit of ivory, right? Or white if you've only got white, right? And what we'll do is, sun's hitting this side, so let's do some lines coming from that side. There you go. And on this one, just a few lines there and there. So this is going to be the light hitting. Okay? Bingo. There we are. So we've got the light hitting that side. Nice. So it's highlights and lowlights, isn't it? Highlights and lowlights. That's what it is. And the thing is, these pencils, the polychromos, they're like with the pergoliners, they're like resist pencils because they're oil-based, wax-based, right? The way they work is when I go over them, say with a brown now, let's take a brown. What we got here? Raw umber, that'll do. Just gently now. See, so what I'm going to do, actually I'll use my sandpaper because I'll get where I want to be really fast. You see, I don't use anywhere near the amount of, right. And I'm going to use the side of my pencil, look, the flat. Just, here's a trick. If you hold your pencil further up, you've got the flat going, you'll find you don't press at all hard. There you go. Go up brown with that side as well. As you hold the pencil further down the shaft, without actually applying more pressure, it will get darker. It's just the way it is. We'll do a bit more of that when we do the colouring in. See? So let's add a little bit of brown on that side. There you go. Bit of brown. And the other thing is, if you feel you've added too much, I don't think I have, but if you feel that you have, you go in with your, this is the other thing about the pergoliners and the B pencils and the polychromos. You get your, hang on a minute, Faber-Castell eraser pencil, white at one end, pink at the other end. White takes out the ink, pink takes out the pencil. Also available separately, right? And you could take out your colour again. So if you feel you've overcooked it, you just lift it out again. Amazing, really. So simple. And if nothing else, you got to give it to me. I've definitely got courage of my convictions, hey? It's the same. Don't you find that with clothes or with anything really? When you find a brand that you really like, don't you You stick with the brand, don't you? I do anyway. And Faber-Castell, yeah, I love them. I love them. I love the family. I love the ethos. I love the factory. Just love them. There you go. Family affair. It's a family business. Right, now, grey. I'm going in with the Payne's grey now, the dark one. So I'll tread gently with this one. This is where you could use your pencil, your HB pencil as well. Now let's get a little bit of that feel of the stepping again. So you just come down like that. Look. Everybody happy? There you go, just down that edge. Don't overcook it, but be nice. There you go. Nice, eh? Easy. Don't want to make it too dark, otherwise it'll be a big dark blob in the middle of our lovely creation here. So we've got that. Now let's take that, maybe not the darkest one. Let's go with another grey, like the light grey that we use. What was that one? Cold grey, that'll do, because we're going to mix it up a bit. Actually, use your safe one first, safe card first. Right, and what we're going to do is add a bit of shadow. So if you do this with the boring grey, or the warm beige, what do I call it? Warm grey 2. Right, let's do a little bit of that. Right, then go in with a darker grey, grey 5. I've got cold grey 5. Anything will do. Just want an HB pencil will do the job as well. Right, and then what we'll do is we'll just add a little bit of shadow, just like that, like a scribble. That'll do. Scribble over the top. Yeah, see? So you're going to come in there like that and then bring it down like that. Come in there like that, and you're using the flat of your pencil. Right. And then when you've done that, I'm going to go in with the browny colour. You know the one where we went in over the top? Let's do a little bit of brown as well. So we're going to go back in underneath the pyramid there, and then just bring it down like that, over the top of the grey. Maybe not even as far, like that. See? And you could run that right along the back there, like that. Come in around the front a bit as well. Give them a bit of sand, eh? Bit of sand. There you go. We're artists, fellow shackers. We've nailed it. That looked good. There you go. Bit over this way a bit, actually. Nice, eh? Right, now we've done the pyramids. That'll do for the moment. Can always add more. You can always add more grey. You can, it's up to you. You can go for hours titivating these pyramids if you wanted to, couldn't you? There you go. Right, next thing, sun. It's a sun. It's a big sun. So you've got some lovely yellows in the pergoliners as well. I'm going to go with the middle one. What we got here? Dark cadmium yellow. There you go. So we'll do a little bit of, again, I'm going to use the flat of the pencil, and I'm just going to add an underlayer of dark cadmium yellow. There you go. That's the first thing I want to do. Then I'm going to take the light one, and I'm going to add a little bit of light over on this side, just because. I don't want to get caught up in this, because we've got a bus to catch. We've got to get back to England by Wednesday. It's going to take forever. Have you packed? It's been nice though. I've enjoyed Egypt. It's one of those things, isn't it? Let's take a darker one now. What have we got here? Dark chrome yellow. What's great is, we'll do a bit of yellow down the back here. Right. What's great is, it takes you there in your mind. Even though we can't physically go there, it's great because you get to colour in, you get to hang out with some friends, you get to pretend you're there. Pretend you're there. See? Look, so we can get some really good depth in that side. That's good, isn't it? So yellowy, lighter yellow on this side. What have we got here? cadmium yellow, that'll do. Any yellow, light yellow. There you go, get some yellow up there. Wonder what would happen if we put a bit of white over the top of the yellow in that area. Oh, yeah, check it out. Doesn't that look good? Right, there you go, a bit of white over the top, and that's why we love polychromos. There. Worthwhile investment. Pergoliners are good too, though. I'm not going to diss my own product. They are brilliant. It's a spending thing, isn't it? It's about what you want to invest in. So if you've got the pergoliners, right, and then you get the set of 12 polychromos with all the greys and the beiges and the shading colours, the ivories and the silvers and the golds. See, that's a great idea as well. You don't have to buy the whole tin, although I know what we're like. Now, where did I put that? See, this is good as well. You can take your blending tool. Once you've got your yellow in, this is nice. There we go. Blending tools. I mean, we do use the same stuff all the time, don't we? And then we can just blend these colours in so that they're smoothed out like it. Yeah, nice. Smooth them out, and then you could add another generation of colour if you feel like it, can't you? I love that. Put a bit more white along there, actually, just to give it a bit more of a flash. See, I did that up here as well. I thought, well, I mean, it's thousands of years old, this hat, this headdress. It's going to have a little bit of a shadow as well, isn't it? Like a bit of a gleam. Look, doesn't that look good? There you go, bit of a gleam where the light's hitting it. See, and when you put white over the top, look at that. Brilliant. Oh, Barbara. You're supposed to be on the pyramids. What are you doing? Looks good though, doesn't it? Eh? There we are. Sorted that out as well while we were at it. Right, back to the pyramids, back to the sand. So I'm going to go with not the lemony one, I'm going to go with the cadmium yellow, and I'm going to use the flat again, right? So you know the trick that we just talked about using the flat. So you can get really good shading going. Look, there you go. You can put some yellow in. Go some yellow over the top of the front of the pyramid as well. Add a flash of sun. Why not? Who says? There you go. Sun's hitting that yellow. Nice. Hey, didn't that add a flash of warmth? And the little bits in the corner there. Yeah, see? Easy. Sorted. Wouldn't you like to be there? I would. I'd love to be there. I'd love to be in mountain air as well, in New Mexico. I'd love to be there. I'd love to be in Santa Fe. I'd love to be, there's loads of places I'd love to be. But at the moment, it's not possible. And so we accept where we are, don't we? Just accept it and make the best of it. When life gives you lemons, you make trips on the bus to Egypt. Right, so we've done that. I tell you what we could do. Yeah, it's only past. Do you remember we were talking about her head? And I said, where's the one that I've already done? Let me have a quick peep. Oh, here it is. Do you remember I said about putting, look, see, I've shaded her a bit. She's a different colour. Shall we add a little bit of colour to her face? If you take that grey again, brown, what am I talking about? Brown, right? And what we'll do is, we'll just add a tiny bit of shade. It's the lightest amount. It's almost, let's just get some shadow around the neck here. Just use brown. I reckon that she was definitely Nefertiti, apart from the fact that this is a beautiful bronze statue, let's pretend, right? I wouldn't imagine that Nefertiti was particularly Caucasian. I imagine that she wasn't an English rose, was she? Eh? Here we go. See, so you can add a little bit of colour There, look at that. So you can add a little bit of depth with brown. Get a little bit of a, where's her chin going to be? She comes up round the back of the ear. She's got a really lovely jawline. Lovely looking girl. Well, lovely looking statue. She might, you know, like we said, we don't know what she looked like. But let's assume that she was a beauty queen, okay? There, you see how you can you see that all right? Let's go.
I didn't get that.
I know. Look, now I've got Siri helping me out as well. Go away.
I'm not sure I understand.
I've got company. Hang on a minute. What's up with him now? There, you see? See how we've added a little bit of texture to her neck? Look, a little bit of shade to her neck. And we can do the same in her face as well. So, for example, again, very, very light. This is a real good exercise in not pressing hard. So let's see, around the nose, there'd be a little bit of shadow under her nose, wouldn't there, above her lip? Right, let's have a look. I reckon there'd be a little bit underneath her eye, right, and above her eye. Just put a bit of shadow. God, it looks like she's got a moustache now. There you go, really lightly. There, okay. Let's make a bit of, that's it. Bit of shadow under her helmet. God, it must be uncomfortable, that thing, though. I bet she had to wear it all the time. There. So we've done that as well. What about her eye? Well, I'm not going to give her an eye because this is a statue, right? So what we'll do is we'll make the eye, because the eyes aren't coloured. They don't have eyes on statues. What they do is they're sunk, aren't they? They're engraved. So let's sink it in then. There you go. I think I'd prefer to do that on this one rather than give her an eye. Maybe she's got her eyes shut. Look, if you look at it like that, you could put eyelashes. Like if you really want to make it ridiculous, you could put little eyelashes along the base, and then she's having a little kip. There you go. That's shadowed. There. Okay. Bit of where the cheekbone is, bit of grey, bit of beige. Nice. Sorted. There we are. Right, nice. Moving on. Vase next, and then we are done, my friends, and we have to get on the bus and come home. Right, cup of tea. Hey, cup of tea. Can you hear me all right? Paul, is the sound all right? I've got a jumper on. Ah, okay. Right, come on then. Let's do the vase and then we'll do the flowers. We'll work our way up. This is really going to be nice to colour in. And again, you know, we can add a little bit of colour. I haven't prepared it. I'm winging it. But I think I know what I want to do. So let's have a look. Should we do this next? And I just want to move these over here so I can move over a little bit. And I think I want to come in a little bit so that we can see it better. There. Now, let's have a look. These are looking good, aren't they? We could carry on with them if we want to, but I'm sure this will be lovely. So the first thing we want to do, again, we're going to go to a safe grey. Should we do a safe grey? It's always a good idea to do a safe grey. So this is going to be round. We want to get that feeling of roundness, don't we? So let's assume if the sun's over here and it hits here, this side, it's going to be darker. It's going to be darker under there, I know that. That's going to be darker. But we'll just do it with a light pencil. A light grey, right? Which one am I using? Cold grey 3. But it's not, you know, it's not a prescription. It's just a light grey pencil, okay? Right, let's have a look. So we'll do that side, because we can always add a bit of colour as well if we think we want to. I might add a bit of brown. I think brown's the way to go with this, and maybe a dark red, maybe something in there like a dark red, hey? So this is going to be a bit darker because that's underneath, isn't it? That's going to be darker. See how you can, see how I got that nice up there as well. Did you enjoy doing I really enjoyed doing the column. There we go. So we're going to come round here. Yeah, nice. On the sides. Because this is going to be in the shadow. So let's just establish where the shadow's going to be. Okay? There. There. Along the bottom. There. 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 In there. So that's going to be darker. What do you think? Already looks right, doesn't it? In there. Okay, so now we've done one generation of grey. Let's take a darker generation. Let's take another colour. Let's go down a tone. What have I got now? Warm grey 5. Let's see if this works together. I know I'm bouncing between the warms and the colds, but it's all right. Works. This is a bit bluer. This is a bit browner. There. So then what you do is you get in tighter and you just start teasing the colour in on the edge. There we go. So if you enjoy colouring in and you want to get better at it, I mean, this is more shading, isn't it? But on Wednesday, when we start with the poppets, I know it looks, this is like, you look at this and you think it looks really babyish, but I tell you what, when we start colouring these in, there's nothing babyish about these. These are so beautiful. Marina Fedotova's artwork, and when we start, I wonder if I've still got the one, I don't know if I've got it in, yeah, here we are, look, here's the one that we did earlier, when we were working together on these before Christmas. Look, isn't that lovely? Now where's the one I used? We did another one with peace in the background, didn't we? I really ought to store my stuff better. But anyway, so this is, look, really a lovely way to learn how to do a white dress. Like how do you colour in white? How do you do fur? How do you get that effect? So if you want to learn these tricks, then join in on Wednesday and Friday, and then next week we'll be doing this as well. But you need the outline. You need the outline. So buy the postcards, and then they're a great price. We've dropped the price magnificently for you, and then I'll teach you all lots of tricks. Don't get me wrong, there are no experts in this building. I'm no expert at this, but I've picked it up along the way. I'm self-taught. I certainly know how to do a bit of shading. And get yourself a set of colouring pencils, whether it's the polychromos or the pergoliners. Paul will give you the links. We've got super prices on all the stuff, you know. And if you've got pencils, if you've got colouring pencils, use what you got. Don't buy more. Just use what you got. Get good at what you're doing. You know, and this will be a perfect opportunity while we're still in lockdown, because this isn't going to be over fast, is it? Let's face it. I think we're looking at quite a long. The only thing that makes me sad about the whole affair, you know, I can get as grateful as I like, but I miss my kids. I miss seeing them so much. I mean, I haven't seen Mark for 2 years now because they live in the States. You see, pain, bloody unbelievable, really. But there you go. It is what it is. I can't do anything about it. And thank God for FaceTime. I look at them every day nearly. Certainly Gracie I do, because of course we work together. When you go on our website and there's a little live chat, hello, can I help you? And it's Bubbly of New York. It's Grace. She's my daughter. You know, so it's a family affair. And she's working her little hiney off in America for us. And ironically, she's always looking after us in England, because she gets up 5 hours after we do. She's on the telly. She's on the website well into the evening. So that's when a lot of you go looking and look at the gallery and looking for certain things. See how we're building that depth now? So you take a lighter one and come in a bit further maybe. Come in a bit more. I need a bit more of a chisel on this one though. Hang on. That's it. Now I can come in a bit further. Depth. Yeah, so it's Grace you talk to. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, there we are. And what else was I going to tell you? Can't remember now. Oh yeah, I was saying. So I'm no expert at this. I'm only here to keep you company. I'm just here to keep you company. Let's go in here and get a bit of shadow underneath, behind these things. Look, here we go. But while we're hanging out together, why not get good at colouring in and doodling and drawing and learn a few tricks? I'm happy to share. The little bits that I've picked up along the way, happy to show. There you go. This is going to look good. Right, in there, dark, right, and then down the side. In there, dark, and then down the side. Cool, very cool. Yeah, see? And then you flick your pencil round, and then you can get sharper as you do this. There we are. There. It's going to look super. So, this is an ideal opportunity to improve your skills. I mean, those of us that have been in the SHAC since the beginning, you've got to admit we're getting good at this, aren't we, eh? We're certainly improving our game. I am. I can only speak for myself. But I look at your artwork on Clarity worldwide and I think, yeah, absolutely. Hey, just goes to show the more you do, the better you get. And the better you get, the more you want to do. Ain't that the truth? Now, let's have a look. Are we happy with that? It's coming together, isn't it? Now, what would be great is if we took a white pencil now. Take a white one. Let's just get a flat going. I want a flat on that side, see? So I've got a flat on that side now. And what I'll do is, just like the sun, I'll put some white in this area. Let's just put some white. We can always add it afterwards as well. I mean, I'm winging it here, aren't I? But I reckon I'm going to treat this just like the pyramid. There you go. Beautiful. Just some white up there. I shall miss Egypt. We met some nice people there, you know. Very good people. Nice locals, good people in the hotel. I remember there was this beautiful couple, like staggeringly beautiful. They were from London. Just gorgeous looking people. She was black, tall, slim, just stunning. She was a model. I remember her name was Jackie. And she was gorgeous. But she was so lovely, you know, she was really lovely as well. She wasn't vain or, you know, she was just real down-to-earth Londoner. And got on like a house on fire with her and her husband as well, who was also gorgeous. He was, and what I remember with him was he was bald. You know those really good-looking fellas that haven't got any hair, but it's just like dunk. Stunningly good, right? He was quite buff as well. Anyway, so quite a lot of eye candy going on here, right? And she liked to just lie by the pool, and she liked hanging out with Grace and Mark. She loved Grace and Mark because he was white and she was dark skinned. She was black, and so she was intrigued by Grace and Mark because they were mixed race. And I think she wondered what their children, they didn't have kids. I think she wondered maybe their children would look like Grace and Mark when they had children, you see. Anyway, so she liked hanging out by the pool. My kids were driving us potty because they were playing this game. And I thought I had to get out of there. And it was this game where they played Marco Polo. Have you heard of it? Drive you potty. And it's this, they bob around, right? And they go, Marco, Polo, Marco, it just, this is all right for the first 5 minutes, but 2 hours in, you want to hold their heads underwater, right? Marco Polo, Marco Polo. So her fella, I don't think they were married. I can't remember his name. The good-looking bloke with no hair, right? let's call him the good-looking fella with no hair. Jackie said he was getting the screaming memes with the kids as well, and Jackie said, "Why don't you go off, and I'll look after the kids?" Because he said, I want to go on a camel. I want to go on a camel ride. I said, all right, well, let's go on the felucca, and we could go over to the West Bank, the Valley of the Kings, and we can do a camel ride, because you can do that, right? And he was happy to do that with me, and I was bored at the pool. It was too hot for me. And that looked good. Right, so we put a bit of white in these bits here. Yeah, so he didn't want to hang around the pool going Marco Polo either. But so we cleared off and we decided to go on a camel ride. This good-looking fella and me. Not on the same camel. He was on his camel and I was on my camel. Right. Anyway, we were going along. He was in front of me and I was following on this itchy, stinky camel, right? And then as we were going along, the little Egyptian kids, they were handing us sugar cane, you know, like bakshish. It's their way of making some money. I haven't got a problem with that, right? So they handed us a bit of sugar cane, and then you give them a bit of money, or you give them candy, or all they wanted was candy or pencils. They weren't even interested in money, okay? So I always had a pocket full of candy and pencils because that was really what they loved. And I always, whenever I went out of the hotel, I used to take a suitcase full of pencils and colouring pencils because that's what the kids wanted, that and candy. And so we went on a camel ride. I'd already given the good-looking fella, the bald bloke, I'd already given him some candy. And I said, when they give you anything, you just give them something in return. Otherwise, they won't leave you alone until you do. It's just the way it works. So, so in front of us, he was in front. Doesn't that look pretty? Right, we won't put any more on there. I think we'll leave it there. Although I'd really like to just put a little flash of... where's that pencil, HB? Right, here we go. I'm going to use my HB pencil just to get a really good depth on there. Yeah, so so we were going through the sugar cane fields, round the side of them, not across them. And this little kid in front gave the fella some sugar cane. And he, just as I told him to, he gave her a sweet, and that was the end of it, right? Then they came to me, and I gave them what, I can't remember what, but I certainly gave them something, right? Probably sweets as well, and and then we got to our destination, and we got to our destination. It was quite a long way, so you're behind, really. You know, you definitely knew you'd been on a camel for an hour. And as he got off the camel, he was walking towards me like John Wayne, right? And he looked like he'd had an accident. And he said, I've had an accident, right? As he was walking towards me. And I thought, oh my God, he hasn't really, has he? But because of the camel, he was walking like he, you know what I mean? He'd had an accident. So I went straight to, this is gonna damage my illusion of you immediately if you've really had an accident. And then he was like that going, I've had an accident. And I thought, oh no. And then he took his hand away and his front tooth was missing. His front tooth was missing. And what had happened, right, as he'd bitten into the sugar cane, he obviously had a crown, like I have as well, right? And his crown had come off. It just snapped straight off. And if you've ever, it's like, do you know what I mean? You can look as good as you like, right? We used to do this when we were kids to irritate the teacher. You know, you can look amazing. Hang on, let's see if I can do it. And then when someone's got a gap, let me just see if I can do this. Right, if you do that, I wonder if it'll stick to me too. Like stick. Hang on. But you know what I mean? Hang on, let me just see if I can stick it on. This bloke, he went from being really, really beautiful to really, really unattractive. Because it's transformational, isn't it? When you, hang on, let's do some shading while I fiddle around with this. Oh, I know what will work. I know. Oh, yeah. I've just found another use for the sticker booklets. Anyway, so this bloke, right, this really good looking bald bloke, who then, of course, he didn't have his front tooth. Well, I can't tell you. His Jackie went berserk because they were still in the first week of their holiday, right? So I wonder how we used to do it when we were kids, because it won't stick this, you know. But you know what I'm talking about. When somebody loses their tooth and they got a gap, you need paper, don't you? I'm not going to colour it in with a pen just to make a point. No, it's not going to work. But basically, when he opened his mouth, right, and he had this big black gap there, right, like that. Stupid girl. We used to do this all the time with cornflake packets, didn't you? Crikey, the things that we got up to just to irritate the teacher. And then you'd... Anyway, so he lost his front tooth and he had no way of repairing it. You know what I mean? If you can go from looking really glamorous, and then if you're missing a tooth, it's transformational, isn't it? There you go. And this really good-looking bloke, she had to go a whole week with him, with this gap, and she was doing her pieces. Honestly, she went berserk. It spoilt their holiday because he lost his front tooth. Jackie was so distressed that her husband, she just told him to keep his mouth shut and don't smile. So he spent the rest of the holiday with his mouth closed. It was funny. I'm gonna fiddle around with that later because I wanna figure out how to do it, and I'll see how I can do it. Paper might be better than card. Anyway, larking aside, when I think of sugarcane, isn't it funny how you remember certain things, right? And I just remember this poor bloke with this. When he came towards me, he said, "I've had an accident." I thought, "Oh my God, please don't say that." And then it wasn't what I thought. It was that he'd lost his front tooth. Isn't it funny what you remember? So when I think about camel experiences, right, that's all I remember is this good-looking fella with his front tooth missing. Yeah, it was good. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. It was just funny. Very, very funny. Yeah. And the other thing was, he didn't have the crown. It's like, well, have you got the bit that we can sort of super glue it in? No, that was somewhere between the Rhine and the depot. Not the Rhine, the Nile. That was somewhere he'd lost that in the sugarcane. So we couldn't even stick it in with super glue, or we would have repaired it before we went to find Jackie. So all in all, a great adventure. I wonder how they're doing. You know, you lose touch with people, don't you? You always say, oh, when you get back to England, you're going to stay friends and forever. But then out of sight, out of mind and all that. But I bet they still remember it as well. Funny, she did her nut. There, doesn't that look pretty, eh? So no colour, just white at the tips. Hey? So, and then we'll do a little bit of grey. You see, you could put some lovely blue in there, couldn't you? To go with, do you know, that might be nice. To sort of offset against her her headdress. I keep calling it a hat. It's not really the right word, is it? Hat. See, that would look pretty if you added a little flash of colour in here, right? Yeah, wouldn't that look nice? There you go. All I want to do now is go up in the bathroom and see how you can, how you can black out your tooth without actually using a Sharpie pen. I'm not going to do that. I know I'm bored, but I'm not that bored. It's not boredom. It's just want to have a laugh, really. I just need a giggle. And I don't care what it looks like. Although I would if I can imagine on Hochanda on Thursday in the Pergamano show. Good morning. Front tooth. Yeah. Shouldn't laugh. No, it'll happen. So there you go. I think what we could do now is just gently draw this to a close. Now, how are we going to do those? They need to be, right, we need to get a bit of a point on those, because I'm going to put the white in first. I might even sharpen it for this one. See if I can sharpen it, just to get a real good... The Spectrum Noir pencil sharpeners are pretty good, you know. I think they are. I think you just got to go slowly. Right, now I've got a proper point. Right, you see, and then I can get in there. Look. Yeah. Yes, lovely. And yeah, isn't that nice? Just a flash of light. That's all it is, isn't it? Because you'd automatically think they've got to be green, but actually, I don't know. Why green? I'm going to do white and grey. There you go. Super. Just a flash of colour. Just brings it to life, doesn't it? I'm going to spend half an hour now when we go our separate ways now. Well, we're not. We're getting on the bus. Come on. Have you loaded you got your suitcases all packed? Have you had breakfast? Have you said goodbye to the waiters? Have you tipped them? Good. Then it's time to get back home. All right? Love it. And thus endeth our trip to Egypt. I hope you enjoyed it. Wednesday, we'll be back again. So this week, let's have a look. What we got going on this week? Wednesday, it's going to be the poppets, and we'll do some colouring in. We'll do a couple of techniques. I'll show you a couple of tricks. And then on Thursday, we've got the Pergamano shows. First Pergamano shows of the year. I've got something really special to show you. What time is the show, Paul? Is it 11 o'clock? Paul knows. I think it's 11 o'clock and 3 o'clock, the Pergamano show. Is that right, Paul? Not sure. And then maybe you could tell me. So then, yeah, tell me on a text, Paul, so I say it rather than read it. So that's the Thursday. And then on Friday, oh, and don't forget, tomorrow it's the Groovy SHAC with Paul. Oh, my Groovy Tuesday. That's 10 o'clock tomorrow, right? And then Wednesday, we're going to start colouring. Thursday, we got Pergamano. And then Friday, we've got 3 o'clock, we've got a moment of clarity, and we're off to Holland again. Yeah, so there you go. Every day, we're here to keep you company. Stay safe, happy, and creative. All right? Lots of love. And I'm just about to find out when the show is because Paul's going to write 11 and 3. I was right. There you go. 11 and 3. Thanks, Paul. Thanks for your help, Paul. Stay safe, everybody. And I'll see you on Wednesday. Don't forget, Paul, tomorrow, 10 o'clock. Groovy, groovy Tuesday. God, I started a bit low there. Bye.